determine what you need to find and define your variables. So whatever you're looking for, those are your variables, right? Create equations using variables, solve for equations, answer the question. So let's look at a problem. The denominator of a fraction is 8 more than twice the numerator. In lowest terms, the fraction's 1/3. What is the fraction? Okay, so what are my unknowns? The numerator and the denominator. So the denominator is, whoopsie, let's try writing. The denominator is, so is the same thing as equal, right, in words, is 8 more than twice the numerator. How would you write? Let's use the letter N for a numerator and the letter D for denominator. The numerator is at 2n plus 8. Good. So if our fraction's 1/3 in lowest form, its numerator over denominator equals 1/3. Agreed? Now we only want one variable, so who are we going to replace? Denominator is equal to what? (2n plus 8 equals 1/3. We said the denominator is 2n plus 8. All right. Should we solve this? Yeah, what do you want to do? Solve. Kate, what's the first step? Multiply both sides by the common denominator. Remember, we're moving away from, you can use cross multiply, but in those problems where they get more complex, it doesn't work. You'd have to add first and everything. So it's easier to get rid of the fraction just by multiplying. If we get into the same, if we're doing the same routine every time, by multiplying both sides by the common denominator, which would be what? Even if I factor 2n plus 8, it would be 2 times n plus 4. Does that change the common denominator? No. So let's just multiply both sides by 3 times 2n plus 8. And in solving, the nice thing is it all reduces in the end. So even if you didn't factor, unlike when we did simplifying, it did matter. It doesn't in solving because it all reduces. Okay, so on this side, it is the same thing as cross multiplying because the 2n plus 8's cancel and the 3's cancel. So we're left with 3n equals 2n plus 8. Or subtract 2n and we get n equals 8. Does that work? Is there for an MPV? Yeah, the MPV is n can't be -4. We go back to here, right? Would you agree with that? Yeah. So that's our solution. So that's only part of our solution because we need the numerator and the denominator. So what would the denominator be? 2 times 8 plus 8, which is what? 16 plus 8. We can add 24. So what's our fraction? 8 over 24. Is that equivalent to 1/3? Yep. Easy check there. Okay. The sum of the reciprocals of two consecutive integers is 7. Oh, can you change this to 7 over 12? Sorry, correction. Doesn't work out as nice if it's 7 over 21, which is 1/3. Right? Yeah. Find the integers. Okay. So consecutive. What does it mean to be consecutive? One after the other? Is that what you said? Okay. So if the first one, what do you want to call it? X. So the next one would be x plus 1. Good. So the two numbers are x and x plus 1. If I said consecutive even numbers, what would they be? You'd have to do 2x for your first, to make sure that it's actually even. So 2x and 2x plus 2. Yeah. So then you'd have to, once you solve for x, you'd have to go back and go 2x to actually get that first even number. But these are just two consecutive numbers, not two consecutive even. So the sum of the reciprocals of two consecutive. Hey, side note, what would be an odd number? Yeah, but if an even is 2x, and the next one is 2x plus 2, 2x plus 1 or 2x minus 1 is how you would define an odd number. Okay, 2x, because it'd be an even number plus 1 or an even number minus 1 always gives an odd number. Okay, we can write that down after if you like. But okay, so the sum of the reciprocals of these two consecutive. So how would you set that up? What's a reciprocal? Reciprocal. So how would you write that? Flip it. How do I flip x? 1 over x, and it's a sum, plus 1 over x plus 1 equals 7 over 12. Yay! Beautiful. Okay, so we're going to multiply everybody by the common denominator. What's the common denominator? Okay, there's an x plus 1, and also 12. So 12x, x plus 1. So let's multiply each term by that to get rid of the fraction. So much writing. And I need to see every step. Okay, you can't just skip steps on your quizzes and your unit exam. Yay. And each line below has to be equivalent to the one above. Okay, what cancels out in the first fraction? X, the second one, x plus 1, and then the last one, the 12. Okay, so you might, I don't know if you want to write it out again, so just write this as 12. You don't have to, you can go straight to expanding if you want, or you can write this all out. 12 times x plus 1 plus 12x equals, it's going to be a 7x times x plus 1. I'm going to put these two together, 7x. Okay, can you solve that? You should be able to, right? No? If it's quadratic, what do we do? Everything to one side and factor. So move the 24x and the 1 to the other side. Yep. Tell ya, this Monday is killing me. Man, today I spelled the word sign wrong. It's not a good day. I don't know what's wrong with me. Something's wrong. Okay. So 7x squared, thank you for your help. Clearly I need it. 7 minus 24. 17, negative 17x minus 12. Okay. Is this factorable? So we check. So let's try 7, 1, 3, 4, I guess. So that's 28 and 3 won't work, so I'll switch the 4 and the 3. Get 21 and 4. Can we make 17 out of that? Yeah. We want to make a negative 17, so I need the 21 to be negative, which means the 3 is negative. And the 4 would be positive. Okay, so that factors to. Yeah. So factoring is so important in this unit. It's almost assumed that you can factor. So if you're struggling with your factoring, you are going to struggle in this unit because it's all foundational. So if you need extra practice on factoring stuff, come see me. I'll print some out. We'll work on it because you have to be able to factor, and it should be easy. You want to get to the point where it's easy, right? So the factors in this case are 7, right? Your x's go here. 7x plus 4 and x minus 3. What were my MPVs? 0 and -1. What do I get for my solutions here? 3 and -4/7. Do I reject any of these numbers? Which one? Because the problem said 2 consecutive what? Integers. Which one's not an integer? The second one, not an integer. So our 2 consecutive numbers would be 3 and 4, because 3 and 3 plus 1. 3 and 4. Okay, shared work. Everyone's favorite. They're actually a lot of fun. Once you get them down, they're not so bad. So let's turn the page, one more page of notes, and we're done for today. Yeah. Oh, because our consecutive numbers were x and x plus 1, and so we got x is 3, so the second one would be 3 plus 1, or 4. Right, back in the original, we said our 2 consecutive numbers were x and x plus 1. Okay. Okay. Shared work. Okay, Lyle can paint a room in 5 hours. Steve can paint it in 4 hours individually. Okay, how long it will take them to, if they work together, how long can they paint the room? You just guessing? Okay, it helps if you make a chart. It helps a lot. Okay, so we're going to make a chart for these problems. So we have 3 situations. We have Lyle is the first situation. Second situation would be Steve. And the last one would be together, them both. Okay, we're going to set up our charts the exact same every time. Okay, the first category would be time to complete individually. Okay, so Lyle, how long does it take Lyle? 5 hours. How long does it take to Steve? 4. Together, do we know that? No, so we're going to call that X or T. I'm going to use T. So then our next category is fraction completed in 1 hour. In 1 hour. So the fraction completed in 1 hour. So if Lyle takes 5 hours to complete, what fraction has he completed after 1 hour? 1/5. Steve would be 1/4. Together, it takes T hours to complete it together. What fraction did they complete after 1 hour together? 1/T. Okay, and then the last category is the fraction completed in T hours. So if I asked you what fraction did he complete in 2 hours, Lyle, what would your answer be? 2 over 5. Would you agree with that? Okay, if I asked how much fraction did he complete in 3 hours? 3 over 5. So if it's fraction completed in t hours, it would be t over 5. Steve, how much did he complete in t hours? T over 4. And together, t over t, which equals 1. They'd have it done in t hours together. Okay, so t over t, this is the same thing as t over t, which is equivalent to just 1. So now we can either use, the second or the third column for our equation. It really doesn't matter. So if I use the last one, I'll start with the last column. So t over 5, so Steve's portion in t hours plus Lyle's portion, so Lyle plus Steve, equals 1, the total amount, the total portion completed together. So we can use either column. Can use either, and I'll show you that in a second. So here, what would be the common denominator? 20. So we're going to multiply everybody by 20. What is 20 times t over 5? 4t plus 20 times t over 4. 5t equals 20, or 9t equals 20, or t equals 20 over 9, which is what? Approximately. That would be 9/18, so 2.29, 2.22. If you wanted to get technical, could you change this to like hours and minutes? How would you change that to hours and minutes? 2 hours and, here, I'll grab my calculator. 0.222 times, so 20 over 9. You could even go to seconds if you wanted to. Okay, so I need the decimal into minutes. So I'm going to subtract off the hours. So 0.2 repeating, I'm going to multiply it by 60. So it'll be 2 hours and about 13 1/3 minutes. 2 hours and 13 1/3. Okay. Now, just so you can see, I could have used the other column. I could have used 1/5 plus 1/4 equals 1 over t as well. So Lyle's portion plus Steve's portion equals the portion together. Again, what would be my common denominator here? It would be 20t. I'd multiply each term by 20t. It would have gave me 4t plus 5t equals 20. 9t equals 20. T equals 20 over 9. So that's if I use the other column. So it doesn't matter which one you use. It'll give you the same answer. Okay. If they're not getting each other's too many cooks in the kitchen type of scenario? Yeah. Okay, let's try another one. These are tough, hey? 2 hoses can fill an ornamental fish pond in 3 hours. If only hose A is used, it takes 5 hours to fill the pond. How long would it take for only hose B? Okay, so our 3 scenarios. Hose A, hose B, and together. Okay, and then we have time to complete, or time to fill, same thing. What's the next one going to be? Okay, well, let's fill it in. Let's fill in first column first. Jose. How many hours does it take for Jose by itself? 5. Do we know Jose B? No. So let's call that T hours. Together. 3. Okay. Time to fill, it said. Time to fill. So the next column we're going to do, fraction completed in how many hours? In 1 hour. Okay, and then we do fraction completed in T hours. So in 1 hour, I'll let you write that down. Fraction completed in 1 hour and fraction completed in T hours. Yeah, whatever unit you have. So if you use X, it'd be X hours. Yeah. So Jose, how much can Jose? It sounds like a name, hey? No? Just me? Okay. Jose, how much? 1/5. Then Jose B. 1/T. 3 together? 1/3. Okay, so in T hours, it would be, so if it was 2 hours, how much would Jose finish? 2/5, right? Or Jose B, sorry, I said Jose B, I meant Jose. Jose. Okay, so it would be T over 5. What would Jose B? How much would Jose B complete in T hours? If it takes him T hours to complete. T over T, which equals 1, because they're basing it on Jose B's time. That's our unknown. And together, how much would they complete? T over 3. So we can use either column. It doesn't matter. Either of the reds. Which one do you want to use, first or second? Which one? Second? Oh, sorry, second or third? The third, okay. So T over 5, Jose A plus Jose B equals together. A plus B equals together. T over 5 plus 1 equals T over 3. Okay, what are we going to multiply everybody by? 15. The equations are pretty easy to solve once you have them set up. That's nice. Yeah. Okay, what's 15 times T over 5? 3T, right? We can reduce this to 3 over 1, so that's why it becomes 3T. Plus 15 times 1, 15 equals, what's 15 times T over 3? 5T. We can divide both of those by 3. That's how we get 5. Okay. Or subtract 3T over 15 equals 2T, or 7.5, 15 over 2 hours. So it's going to take Jose B. We'll take, it's a slow hose. All right, it's going to do it by itself. 7.5 hours. All right, we are done the lesson for today. Wasn't that fun? It's short and sweet. Your assignment is oh yeah, I'll have back your quiz. And I should probably go through a bunch of it. Yep. Awesome. Okay, homework guys. I'll just write on the board.